All right, today we're diving deep into the playbook of, seriously, one of the most influential companies of our time, OpenAI. Let's get right into it.
So, where does this story even begin? Well, it starts with ChatGPT, the tool that just exploded onto the scene, seemingly overnight. And when I say it became the fastest growing app in history, that's not just hype. It's a huge claim, but you know what? The numbers absolutely back it up.
Get this, 100 million users in just 2 months. To give you some perspective on how insane that is, it took TikTok 9 whole months to hit that same number. Instagram, more than 2 years. So yeah, this wasn't just growth, it was a straight-up explosion.
So you gotta ask, right? How on earth did this happen? What's the real story behind this kind of unprecedented success? And maybe more importantly, what can we all learn from it? Okay, so by now, pretty much everyone has heard of ChatGPT. But it's the parent company, OpenAI, that offers this just fascinating masterclass in vision, strategy, and pure execution. So let's unpack exactly how they managed to pull it off. And like any good story, to really get what's happening now, we have to go back to the beginning. Because the story of OpenAI didn't start with a product. Nope, it started with a mission, one that was spearheaded by some of the biggest names in tech. It all kicked off in 2015 with this really noble nonprofit mission, but let's be real, raw ambition needs some serious rocket fuel. And as you can see, the huge pivot point was in 2019. The second they shifted to a capped profit structure, boom, the floodgates opened. Microsoft swooped in with $1 billion investment. And that cash directly fueled the evolution you see right here, from the foundational GPT-3 in 2020 to the world-changing launch of ChatGPT in 2022, and then the leap to the much, much more powerful GPT-4 just months later. I mean, talk about a masterclass in hitting the accelerator.
And that really brought us into the era of GPT. See, the launch of ChatGPT wasn't just about something that could write text. Oh no, it was the starting gun for a massive expansion into a whole suite of AI capabilities.
This really highlights how OpenAI evolved way beyond a simple chatbot. The main takeaway here is their expansion into a full-on, multi-talented AI suite. With GPT-4, the model could suddenly understand not just text, but images and voice. Then you throw in specialized models like Codex for coding and DALL-E for art, and you can see exactly how they cemented their spot as a leader across the entire AI landscape.
So, we've covered the what and the when. But now we get to the really juicy part, the why. See, OpenAI's journey isn't just a fascinating story. It's practically a playbook, just filled with powerful lessons for anyone who's trying to innovate. We've actually boiled their whole strategy down into 5 key steps that really make up the OpenAI playbook. Let's break down each one. First up, strategic timing. And this is, well, it's everything. Think about pets.com, launched way too early for its market. Now compare that to YouTube. They perfectly harnessed flash video tech just as high-speed internet was becoming common. That's what OpenAI did. They capitalized on the development of what are called transformer models at the exact moment the world was ready for a really advanced conversational AI. Their timing was just impeccable.
Okay, lesson number 2 is all about defining the problem with laser-like precision. GPT-3 was a beast, incredibly powerful but not very user-friendly. As Sam Altman himself said, the real innovation with ChatGPT was making all that power accessible. It wasn't about adding complexity, it was about solving the core problem. How do we make this amazing technology simple and genuinely useful for everyone?
Third, OpenAI just perfectly blended a huge vision with startup-like agility. The vision was so clear and simple. Make talking to a computer feel like chatting with a friend. But their method? That was all about speed, trying new ideas, learning from them, and making changes super fast. And that's the key right there. They held on tight to their core goal, but they stayed incredibly flexible about the path they took to get there.
And the fourth lesson is a great one. The customer is the co-pilot. OpenAI wasn't building this stuff in a vacuum. The constant improvements to ChatGPT were driven directly by feedback from the community. By listening, adapting, and always improving based on what users needed, they basically acted as the customer's advocate, making sure the product delivered real, tangible value.
And that leads perfectly into our 5th lesson, harnessing the power of early adopters. For ChatGPT, these were developers and businesses who really needed a reliable conversational AI. They became the product's first champions, providing this essential feedback loop. And it's just a brilliant illustration of how that early, high-quality feedback can help shape and refine a product to meet the needs of the much broader market.
So that's the playbook that got them here. But here's the thing about OpenAI. They are not standing still. The company is already pushing the boundaries into new and, frankly, incredibly exciting frontiers. And this innovation is only accelerating. They've recently shown off Sora, a mind-blowing text-to-video model that generates these hyper-realistic videos from just a simple prompt. They're also moving into hardware, partnering with Figure AI to develop actual humanoid robots for the workforce. So yeah, it's pretty clear their story of innovation is far from over.
So what's the ultimate takeaway here? OpenAI's journey gives us this powerful playbook for success, built on timing, focus, agility, and listening. They've already reshaped our world in ways we're still trying to fully understand. And that leaves us with the real question, doesn't it? OpenAI has shown us the playbook, but what new rules will it end up writing for our future?